Hello everyone, today we are going to go over a Gragas game. In my last video, I mentioned that I was kinda ass after taking a super short break, and while I have not returned to my mechanical peak, I have been making it up through macro and focusing more on my team than my usual self-oriented method of play. With that, I have hit a new peak of 800 something LP, and we are pretty close to getting back Grandmaster. At the same time, however, even though I say I haven't played at my peak, I'm wondering if it's all in my head or if it's true because there are many determining factors, so much so that it's kind of messing with me. Let me explain. Since I began my league journey, a cycle that I've noticed while climbing looks something like playing a lot of games and starting to become confident in my skills. Then one day, I'm going to be completely shocked by a player way better than me, whether that is through solo queue game or just watching a high-elo player. This makes me motivated and compels me to improve, allowing me to climb. In the past, this may have been a big driving force, but I think I have hit a peak where I ask myself, when does it end? When do I reach the peak? Because it feels like you can never become the best. However, Master E says, a true master is an eternal student, so perhaps that cycle never ends in some way. On the other hand, I deal with a bunch of factors that I cannot determine and fix, like having the shittiest sleep of my life over the last few months, and infinite many other things that determines my state of play. So, if you have any factors that you are able to safely say definitely affects your gameplay, do let me know in the comments. I would be happy to discuss. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Love you all. Now, I was dealing with some OBS problems, so the loading screen wasn't recorded, but here's a picture for reference alongside the room page. This is a pretty standard runes, and Shield Bash is just a personal favorite. You can always do whatever you please. The key about the Gragas matchup is really to just not get poked down by his Q while punishing his CDs, especially his E. I take TP against champions that tend to take TP as well because it's just generally better for the game. Level 1, most Gragas starts E for some reason, even though Q is always better in my opinion. You can treat it like a E start Silas level 1. Just standing behind the minions will do the trick. If he ever misses it, he has to deal with the consequences and we get to get him to half HP. We then slow push the wave into him because he will struggle to wave clear and will make it hard to CS before leveling up. Warding is better here, but since Jarvan showed on the map, there is no reason to ward and we just poke away at the turret instead and cancel the CC by Eing back. If he ever uses E, we can just choose to dodge it and it's always a good trade. Trading with EQ3 will be trickier since he usually bursts you and drag away with Storm Raider, so it also depends on the runes and his ECC is longer than our Q3, but it can be stopped by our Q3 during some circumstances. Since Gragas reset, we shove the wave and base as well before TPing back. Here we see Gragas use E and miss it, so I should have looked to E up immediately, but I missed that since I haven't played this matchup in forever, and by the time I realized, I didn't expect his E cooldown to be so fast. I was focused on the trade, so I didn't see Jarvan and probably should have E'd back and Q away, which would have saved my flash. The wave is stacking up and pushing, so I cleared it and base so we can lane full HP. We see Darius showing up the gank and we know that Gragas hasn't set up vision this whole time. We look to bait him with Q3, which he took, and followed up with R to catch him before using E in case he decides to ult us. Attempting to get cannon, we walk upwards but Gragas readjusts as well to hit us with E. We take this chance to take a very aggressive trade with him using EQ3 as he did not have E back just yet. This was a really good trade since our W blocks some of the damage and we have potions to sustain while he does not. Jarvan shows up again. Yone is a strong 1v2 champion because he can do huge amounts of damage if his attack speed is on point with Lethal Temple. The hard part is surviving till that point and achieving it. They probably expect us to run with Q3, so we Q3 at them instead and E away to drag away in case Gragas comes for us, and we can also isolate the fight. Eing back, the fight should have ended right here, but Jarvan EQs into us killing himself, and that cost Gragas as well since he has no abilities to get away with. In a 1v2 situation, Yone's best bet is to space with Q3 and E. Block damage with W and isolate the fight if possible because a stacked Lethal Temple Yone is deadly at all stages of the game. With that, we secure Bork and the lane is basically over. If you watch my videos often, you will know that I value grubs a lot for its split push value, and seeing it up, I decided to try and take it since it is very difficult for the enemy to contest me. Shoving the wave very quickly, Gragas has no way of telling for sure what I'm doing, whether I'm sitting in a bush, base for items, or something else. When Gragas realized to shove, we were already done and back to collecting the wave. I think I should have frozen the wave here since our team was really ahead. Poppy comes round to roam and her E stuns Gragas, allowing us to easily finish him off. Seeing Gragas greed for a turret play, we follow him with Q3 and ult before using E to dodge his ult, and E back to continue our chase before getting his flash. One thing to note here is that I think I could have used E upwards so his ultimate wouldn't hit me. With one more EQ, Gragas is forced to base and we take first turret. I was hoping to get a bit more, but Yonara came along with Syndra TP, so we were forced to back off. We farm it out for a bit until we get both Herald and Shiobo, where we continue laning. Eventually, our Darius was cornered, so I decided to TP in since it's very clear that a teamfight is breaking out. I just noticed with myself that I'm not as confident to use TP because I'm worried it'll be wasted, but you have to force yourself to take such risks in order to get better. We TP down and ult Yonara, who is their most fed player. Our Q3 also connects to Syndra, though she does get away. We trade what's left of bot turret, a few plates of bot tier 2, and Drake for our top tier 1. It's probably around the same value in terms of gold from their plates, a bit less for us, but by the time we reset and go up, we would still be losing a lot, so we might as well just trade gold. If we had TP though, it would be definitely worth it to TP top. You also notice that I have 1400 gold when I left base, and that's because I'm close to LDR and I would much rather save the dagger, and also I didn't want to build Berserker Greaves just yet. If there was a fight going on, I would sell the dagger, but I predict that there won't be any fights and that I'll just be farming. Just before I got enough gold, Gragas shows up, and since Poppy is around, she CCs him and we clap close with Q3 to kill him again. Now we have gold for LDR and Berserkers. Kinda neat. We farm at bot lane because it is opposite to the objective, but with both supports caught, Gragas and I TP through. If I just clicked ultimate here, things would have gone very differently, but sadly my fingers were a bit slow. And note, if you click R on Syndra, even if she eases you away and pushes you, your ultimate will still connect. I also trolled by walking upwards a little and was forced to flash away. Since we were still really ahead, we decided to just trade Baron for Drake instead. However, after I reset, I should not have tried to go for this. It was very obvious Jarvan was in our jungle, so I probably should have looked for him instead of coin flipping on Yonara. I tried to stall time, but since Vayne was top, we lacked the damage to win the fight. Seeing everyone gathering around mid, my intuition told me a fight was going to happen, so I hovered mid. Eventually, they made a move onto Vayne. I've been able to find the correct ult angles on the enemy this game, but they all had flash to escape me, which is still very good. I managed to flash away from Gragas ult at 1 HP for a second time and survive. We take the next Drake, but the enemies are the one going for Baron this time, and I do find an insane ult, but the timing on E wasn't quite enough, and we lose Baron even though Vayne does pop off here. The enemy sieges mid with the remaining Baron buff after catching Poppy, and while I was caught, I decided to make an attempt at their backline because I knew that my team could probably clean up. After getting 3 kills, we speedrun through Baron again, but Syndra has managed to dodge my ult by an inch each time. So this was still very good for us until we had to go around and team died. Locke was dealing with the Gragas to prevent him from basing, but sadly Yone just isn't all that great at ending the game. The final fight happens for Soul, and yet again, my ult was fucked over this time by Rel's ult, and I was just standing there because of Jarvan ult, but luckily team was stronger and we finally end the game. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye.